and the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and it is Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for all the action figure toy news of the week that interested me, that hopefully interests you in this holiday week toy news. Hopefully everybody's having a good holiday season. Hopefully everybody had a good Christmas the other day. Hopefully Santa didn't leave you coal. That's the worst. Trust me, I'll never forget when I was 8 years old. I got that stocking full of coal, and I've still never forgot about it to this day. But hopefully everybody's enjoying the holidays. Quite the holiday season, as we saw a lot of sales, a lot of stuff. Now we turn our attention towards 2026. But before we get to 2026, gotta give a cheap plug for my YouTube channel here, as we're celebrating the best of action figures for 2025. Top 5, top 10 lists, plenty to keep you busy. And we got a heck of a lot more of those to do. Patreon members, you get those early as usual. But we're celebrating the best of action figures and even the worst. We're doing peg warmers, worst figures of the year. We'll have all that for you. And we've already started that over the last couple of months here on the channel. But be on the lookout for those. Make sure you subscribe to the channels as usual. Should say Patreon. It is the last chance to give away this month. Patreon Will Ospreay Supreme Edition. That is the Patreon giveaway. Just a couple of days left for the Patreon giveaway. And I should mention my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, available where podcasts are found, with video cast on YouTube. We're giving away the AEW Jazzwares cart, of course, the golf cart, the Jazzwares Vault exclusive. Giving that away over there on the podcast, so make sure you're watching this week's episode, a special Q&A, year-end holiday episode on the podcast once again, and we're giving away that golf cart, so make sure you're checking it if you entered to win that. So a lot of giveaways and a lot of giveaways to come. Heck, I should mention it right now. Be on the lookout for my Instagram post. Could be up by the time you're watching this video. Who can guess the weight of the twist ties for 2025? Todd McFarlane, you're a big part of these twist ties. I have them all in this ringside collector's case, protector case, all the twist ties of the year. Can you guess the weight of the twist ties without going over? That's going to be the key if you go over your SOL. But if you can guess the weight of this, fairly weighty, I will say, you will win a fabulous prize. And what is the fabulous prize? Well, we're giving away some McFarlane stuff around this. It makes sense. It's 99% McFarlane stuff in here. Batwing 2.0 and Troika Batman. We got these. So whoever guesses right on the nose or gets closest to it, you will win these two figures. If there seems to be a tie, I guess I'll go to whoever put the thing in first. So make sure you're looking at other people's as well. But be on the lookout. It will be on Instagram, and Instagram's free, people. I know somebody's in the comments who say, well, I don't have Instagram. Well, get it. It's free. You can't beat free, right? What? Yeah, nothing's really free. You're right, Todd McFarlane. But I will be giving these two away to whoever can guess it. Always a fun contest that we do every year here on the channel. This is year number 2. And then next year, we'll do it again. And we got a lot of giveaways to come. If you're watching the channel this week, good friend of the channel, Todd McFarlane over here, wiggling his toes, still here, gave me 3 huge boxes of stuff as a Christmas present at the year end, which was super nice of him. After a hard time I've been giving him this year, he sent me that stuff. And some people are saying, oh, of course, give free stuff. Well, of course, Kyle's giving it back to people. I'm going to be giving those away on giveaways between my podcast, the YouTube channel, Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be doing some serious giveaways over the next month or so. So follow me on all the social media platforms. Make sure you subscribe to this channel, and you too can win some of these prizes here in the future. So a lot of fun, a lot of giveaways going on as we close out 2025 and go into 2026. Check out the Patreon, as like I said. Top 10, top 5 videos. There's a lot going on the channel as we close out year number 5 of this YouTube channel as well. Can't believe it. But I also can't believe there was toy news this week. Yes, there's toy news. Not a ton, but Todd, I'm going to tell everybody about our party we went to this week. It was Wednesday this week. Apparently, that was the cheapest day to get the banquet room, I guess, apparently. But Todd McFarlane and I actually went to a holiday party. It was pretty fun for the most part. But some weird stuff, and I'm going to fill you in. I even got some video of that, and we'll talk about that in the Powertown update, as we did get invited to the Powertown Christmas party this year, Todd. So a lot of fun was had. So more on that here and later in the video. But let's knock around some other wrestling news first. We'll do the Powertown update, and then we'll get to some other wrestling news or non-wrestling news in the back half. So stay tuned for that. Some big stuff this week. We're going to start it off. Mattel shippers hitting Walmarts right now. A few people all over the country starting to see this shipper, and it makes sense. As holiday stuff, holiday pallets sell down, they got stuff to refill that spot, and apparently we're lucky enough to have a Mattel, we'll call it a Royal Rumble shipper. I don't know what they're calling it exactly, but it is a shipper full of elites, main events. But most exciting to a lot of people, including myself, is the Street Fighter figures that are Walmart exclusives. Those are on that shipper. So I would have to imagine, now that Christmas is over, and your mileage may vary, your Walmart may vary, but as they get rid of Christmas stuff, pallet stuff, they're going to start wheeling some of these pallets from the back room, and that's probably where you're going to find this. Now, be diligent in your search. Obviously, look up and down and around the toy aisles, the action alley area, but also go look in the garden centers of the world. There's a possibility they could be somewhere hidden in the store, maybe by electronics. You never know where these are going to be. But I'm fully expecting these to hit stores pretty hard over the next week. I already saw one in Kansas City just recently from a Facebook group. So getting dangerously close to my area. So hopefully I'll find those Street Fighter figures pretty quickly there. But if you're on the lookout for them, keep on looking. And if you're on Australia, you're a day ahead of us, I think. If you're in Australia, you're from the future. So here's Kyle from the past talking to you in the future. But it looks like the latest Target exclusive Legends Build-A-Figure figures are hitting start. I think Kmart over there in Australia is what they're hitting. It is the Bob Backlund Build-A-Figure hitting over there. So that's wild to see that, as the prior set has not even hit America yet. So my brain says I think those two sets are going to be pretty close to each other for us Target consumers in the United States. Will be interesting. Have to think that British Bulldog wave should be hitting any day now. You would have to think we'll get after Christmas clearance, and that's where the Razor, the Triple H, the Diesel will be going to clearance as well. So we'll see. And I got to pick up another set of those. So I'm waiting for the clearance. Playing a little that long game is what I'm doing. So if you're after that, be on the lookout over there in the clearance aisles, all kinds of stuff. But we should see these Legends hopefully very soon in Australia, eating first. Once again, all good day, mate, as they say. Another sad thing over on the wrestling figure message boards, you know, there's some insider info over there every once in a while. Take it with a grain of salt, but probably some truth to it. It sounds like the short goodbye, long goodbye from Jazzware's AEW brand is beginning. A guy posted in the wrestling figure boards, and apparently he's got a history of being correct on these things. So once again, take it with a grain of salt, whatever you think. But it sounds like a few things are going to come out, and they're basically closing the doors, which, Todd, you understand this more than most of us, running a toy company and all. But sometimes you lose the license. You want to get as much money as you can on the way out. Todd McFarlane, the DC license, that's a cash cow for him. He's going to capitalize that on as much as he can. Let's take that business hat on. Let's take that business step back, and let's think about the AEW Jazzwares brand. It's not performing like a DC McFarlane. It's not like a WWE Mattel. You just got to be honest with yourself sometimes. And it hurts to be honest, but you got to be. It's not moving a ton of units. So Jazzwares, they're probably like, you know what? We're losing at the end of the year. Why invest anything in this brand on the way out? We could really dumb down the figures. We could re-release some stuff, get it out there. But is the juice worth the squeeze at the end of the day? And my gut's telling me now that Jazzwares is like, it's not even worth making these figures because not enough people are buying them. It doesn't move the needle. We're not getting the return on the investment enough. Let's just close up shop, which is really sad. It really is an end of an era in a lot of ways, as I don't really expect any of these other toy lines. What? Playmates? Maybe. We'll talk about that in a little bit, Todd McFarlane. Todd getting the cart before the horse over here, but maybe a Playmates. But could another toy line pick them up? Maybe. I think somebody would want to do them. I could see Ringside maybe. But here's the deal. We're not going to get Jazzwares figures. If Jazzwares gets rid of AEW gets rid of Jazzwares, whatever, we're not going to get AEW figures like we got from Jazzwares on a pretty decent clip. You take the last 5 years, we got a lot of figures over 5 years. I would bet we'd get 10% of what we got in the future. We're not going to get very much. Nobody's going to drill into that. That goes to Jeremy being over there. Padour, of course, one of the top guys over there at Jazzwares, banging the drum for the brand. And I don't know if anybody else bangs that drum as hard as Jeremy would. We'll see. Mattel's not going to touch it. They're not going to want that line. Powertown, maybe. We'll see if TNA goes over to Ringside. Maybe, maybe not. But it looks like where there's smoke, there's fire, and it really feels like the jazz wares. We were hoping to get figures through the end of the year. Now it almost feels like it could be done by springtime. So we'll stay tuned to that as well. We know a lot of stuff got canceled just recently as far as pre-orders. The Cardona Jericho pack. We'll see where it all goes, but it doesn't point to being good, and that's unfortunately a bummer as we close out 2025. But how about some other wrestling figure toy lines? Boss Fight Studios, they did put out a little teaser. Looks like they got another Ultimo Dragon figure coming here. I'm here for it. Give me all the Ultimo Dragons. I just wish Boss Fight would get a little faster in their release schedule. It is awfully slow how long it takes them to get figures out for us. Is what it is, though. Hopefully we do get those. Hopefully those pre-orders go up, and hopefully the last round, which we pre-ordered feels like a year ago, hopefully we get those very early in 2026 as well. Big Rubber guys from Collect Major, they've been quiet, but apparently things have been leaking left and right. We talked about it like a couple of weeks ago. Ric Flair repaint, Andre the Giant repaint coming in January, it sounds like. But also, it sounds like Jacques Rougeau. Yes, Todd, that Jacques Rougeau. No, not Jacques Cousteau. He's dead. Long dead. Long dead. But Jacques Rougeau did apparently leak out. It looks like we got the Big Rubber guys, fabulous Rougeau brothers. They're just all American boys at the end of the day. One of the greatest theme songs of all time. If I had to come out to music, that might be what I came out to. But I absolutely love the looks of those. Going to be great. That is a hole. And you know, Todd, we love plugging holes over here. We're plugging that in our Big Rubber Guy LJN collection. The Rougeau brothers really missed out in the LJN days. We missed them in the Hasbro days. We missed them in Classic Superstars. We've missed them from Mattel. Just a huge gaping hole. Gaping, Todd McFarlane. A gaping hole in our collection. And we're going to get filled for the first time with the Big Rubber guys. It looks like those are going up for pre-order in January. A must-have if there ever was one. Cannot wait for that. But we're not done with Jacques Rougeau. We're moving over to the Regime line with our friends over there at Hastel Toy, Grapplers and Gimmicks, promoting off the Quebecers. Looks like the Quebecers are around the corner here. That's another hole I'd like to plug if I could. I'm here for the Quebecers. I'm here for a PCO if we could get that. That'd be fun too. But looking very good, the Quebecers. We know we're probably going to get the Regime Rougeau brothers as well in the future. We'll see where all this goes, but I'm excited about it, and I'm hoping Hastel Toy can keep up the Regime line like he keeps up his Grapplers and Gimmicks retro line. A lot of figures at a pretty good clip, so hopefully we can get that with the Regime figures, but I also understand there's only so many finances to go around. Things are expensive. It was an expensive holiday season. Did I tell you, Todd, I had to buy 2 cars just recently? I got my cancer bill this week. I about fell out of my chair. I was like, wait, I have insurance. Doesn't insurance cover some more of this? And I have good insurance, but it's expensive. I don't recommend it. So a very expensive November, December. Where does that take us into January? We'll see where all that ends up going. I know we're all fighting that same fight. We also saw from Grapplers and Gimmicks, their retro line, promoting off Friar Ferguson, one Bastion Booger, Norman the Lunatic, Trucker Norm, Micah Shaw. We got him in different forms, but Friar Ferguson coming. That looks pretty cool. Got the big old robe for him as well. Like the looks of that. But besides that, pretty slow for the wrestling news this week. As you can imagine, it is Christmas week. Most people aren't working. Hopefully you're fortunate enough not to have to work and answer phone calls and do all that kind of fun stuff. I was sitting up Christmas morning doing emails. What are we doing? But that's the way it goes. It's the life I chose. It's the life I lead. But there it is. That's the wrestling figure news this week, except for one, Todd McFarlane, as it's time for the Powertown update.
Are you ready for pain? Are you ready for suffering?
All right, it's time for the Powertown update. Always a key segment of the news update each and every week. And it's a segment, Todd McFarlane, that we hate to do every week. We wish we would have had these figures months ago, year ago. What is time, as they say? It's just money, right? It's just our money. Nobody's got other bills to pay for or anything, but it is what it is. But it's the Powertown update, a crucial moment of the toy news each and every week. And an interesting update this week is never in a million years, Todd McFarlane, would I think this would happen. But I got an invitation about, was it last Saturday's mail, Todd? I think it was. Right after I filmed the toy news, I went out to my mailbox, and a lot of good holiday cards this year. Some of the best holiday cards ever. You know, my family, we didn't send our holiday card out this year because it was a little rough. The kids didn't want to smile too much. Santa did one of these heart things here, and I about threw up all over the place. Come on, Santa. I talked about that in the Kyle Peterson Show podcast. So my apologies if you didn't get a Christmas card. I said this Santa, he ruined everything. These kids, they ruined everything, didn't smile. Long story short, but save that for the podcast. Check it out wherever podcasts are found, videocasts on YouTube. But I did get a card in the mail from our good friend Magnum TA. I could not believe it. TA put me on the Christmas list, put me on the Christmas card list, and one cool thing that he did is he put one of those Powertown coins on there. I thought that was really cool. He taped it right to the thing. You probably got a letter like that in the mail. It has like a quarter taped to it or something like that. But it was a Magnum TA Powertown coin, which I thought was really cool because, as we do know, you can turn those in for a free appetizer at Texas Roadhouse. Yes, Texas Roadhouse. So I know where I'm going this weekend. We're going to get an appetizer. We're probably going to get those cheese fries, but they do have like their bloomin' onion thing, their take on the Outback. That's pretty good. But I think we're going to go cheese fries. That's what the kids enjoy. My wife's going to be gone for a week. More on that in the podcast once again. So me and the kids got to go out. We're probably going to dine at some fancy Texas Roadhouse, get some steaks, get an appetizer on Magnum TA and the Powertown team. Very nice of them to send that. But I was shocked to see when I read the card, hey, it's been a tough year. It was one of those. We all get Christmas cards all the time. And it was one of those ones that started off, oh, it's been a tough year with ups and downs. And I'm like, oh, here we go. We all got the ups and downs. We know how that goes. I just told you about some of my ups and downs. But they lamented Todd McFarlane. They talked about the ups and downs of the year and things didn't quite work out the way they wanted it to, but they hope you're sticking with us and we're going to be bigger and better and badder in 2026. There's going to be more figures, new lines, new surprises, new t-shirts. There was talking about like making cups and mugs. I think that was an interesting plot twist. They said they might get the Karate Kid involved with a little Karate Kid licensing going on. We'll see. Powertown's got big plans apparently. But at the end of the letter there, it was very interesting to say, hey, we've rented this warehouse. And it was kind of the bad side of town, Todd. So I was a little nervous about going that. They said, we cordially invite you. They spelled it wrong, but you know what I meant. They had it on there. It said, we invite you plus one guest to our party. It was on a Wednesday night, which is a weird night for a holiday party. You know, people can't get too hammered, I don't think. But you never know. People are crazy sometimes. But it was a Wednesday night. So it was a Wednesday night. I can't even get my days straight, Todd. You're right. It was a Monday night. It was a Monday night. Even crazier, but I guess they think people are off for the holiday. Wild time. So we went to this warehouse. Long story short, I didn't want to invite my wife. And she's like, what's a Powertown? That's what she said to me. And I said, I'll show you what a Powertown is later. But I'm going to take my friend Todd from the couch. We're going to get out. It's going to be a boys' night, right? Yeah, it was boys' night out there. We hit the clubs afterwards, too. Yeah, we did. We went to the shoe show, as it's known in some circles, Todd. Me and Todd at the shoe show. It was great. It was a great time, let me tell you. But we went to this party here, and it was wild. So I walked in, and I felt like it was like 80s theme, but I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I talked to the doorman. I was like, 80s theme, that's pretty cool. He's like, what are you talking about? So we were very severely underdressed because it looked like we walked out of the 80s in there. It was like, whoa, what is going on? And no theme, I guess just most of the people that are in the Powertown inner circle, which includes us now, Todd McFarlane, dressed in 80s regalia is what they did. But walked in right off to the side. Who do I see over by the coats in this little like closet? It was like a closet without being a closet. He had this white hat on. He had some headphones on. I'm like, what the heck's going on? And the doorman said, oh, don't go in there. It's Greg Gagne. And I'm like, Greg Gagne is right over there. What's he doing? And he was rapping about a hot feud he was looking at booking with Bruiser Brody. I'm like, I tell the doorman, somebody needs to tell Greg that Bruiser Brody died like 20 years ago, 30 years ago. What is time, Todd McFarlane?
Greg Gagne, and I'm in a rage. I want Brody, and I want him in a cage.
So I thought that was wild off the get, but we checked our coats. We had light jackets, suit coats though, Todd. We looked really good. We looked awfully dapper, but we walked into the party there and it's just a party going on. And Todd and I just kind of scanned the scene in the city tonight like a young Metallica did back in the 80s. And we're looking around, we're seeing everybody who's there. And, Magnum's way in the old corner. I said, hey, let's work our way to Magnum. Let's not get too close to Magnum yet. He might threaten physical violence. We want to end the night with the violence, not at the beginning of the night. Don't want to create too much of a scene. But Greg was there. Kamala's wife, the widow of Kamala, she was there with her whole family. They were up at the buffet. Who else did we see there, Todd? There was a few other people. There were some girls there. I didn't know who they were. Steve Rosenthal was there. He was over there and he was counting coins, Powertown coins, which was interesting at his little table up front. There was a band and we'll get to that band. That was an all-timer. But Todd and I decided first, we said, hey, let's go. I know what we do, Todd. Let's go to this buffet. Let's get some food in us. Let's just get a meal out of the way and then we'll go from there. So then we walked up and Todd, did you think that guy was a little strange? We walked up to the carving station, and this guy, so we're in line, and this guy's just Chatty Cathy. One of those Chatty Cathy guys at the buffet station. You either love it or you hate it. You're never in between. I usually hate it, but on this night I loved it a lot. So as Todd was getting his food, or Todd was preparing to get his food, I was kind of over his shoulder and I filmed the whole thing. I figured we should just roll this. This is a pretty funny one. I filmed this. Roll the tape.
Have you tried the lasagna? It's my favorite.
Give me that.
Did you catch a game last night?
Mm-hmm.
Is it still hot out there? Do you like hot fudge sundaes?
Yeah.
All right.
Like I said, this guy at the carving station, he was an all-timer, asking a lot of questions, a lot of chitter-chatter, a lot of small talk, but that's probably what they trained him to do. But man, we gave that wink. He was winking at everybody. After you got your food, he'd put it on there and just give you a little wink. I didn't know what that meant, but I got his number for later, so we'll see what ends up happening there. But a wild time at the carving station. Do you like hot fudge sundaes? Is that what we're calling it these days? Is that what we're calling it? So we got our meal, and all in all, it was pretty good. It almost reminded me of like an old country buffet in the 80s, or maybe a Golden Corral. Dare I say a Bonanza? Do we ever remember Bonanza? An all-timer if there ever was one. Loved my time at Bonanza back in the day. But it was a pretty good meal, and it was on Powertown's dime, so that was pretty free. And the more I think about it, I feel bad saying it was on Powertown's dime because Todd and I probably just ate on the money that you guys gave for Powertown figures, and myself. So I kind of paid for my own meal in a lot of ways is what it felt like. We're having the party on the interest of all this Powertown money. The Powertown riches is what it was. So pretty wild, all things considered, if you ask me, that meal. But so Todd and I ate, and nobody really sat with us at the meal. I thought that was interesting there. You know, I did see one Brian Myers and Matt Cardona at the party. They were there. I saw them cahooting with Magnum up front, and then I never saw them again. I don't know where they went, if they had to leave early or what, but they were at the party too. Didn't see a lot of other people. Kamala's family was there. Obviously, Kamala wasn't there. But we started to hear the music playing. I was like, all right, Todd, let's get up. And I was kind of like the old husband. And Todd, you were like my wife. I was like, come on, let's get up and dance. And it's usually the other way around. But anyways, Todd, I said, let's go dance. I said, is that really what I think? Is that who I think's playing, Todd? And you said, there's no way they got them. But they did. Powertown splurged. They found like, I think it was like a Greek-Italian band. I can't remember where they're from. Are they from Greece? I think the lead singer was from Greece, Todd McFarlane, but it was one of the most famous bands of all time. I'm sure you've all heard of Opus, right? You guys know Opus. Everybody knows Opus. One of the greatest bands ever from Greece. They had that huge hit in the 80s. And you know me, I had to whip my camera phone out, my cell phone, of course. I had to whip that out, and I had to record a little bit of that. I never thought I'd hear that beautiful song live in person. How cool was that to get a personal concert right up in front, to hear Opus? Live is life, life is live. It goes back and forth, but man, oh man, they tore up that stage like it was 1985. Hadn't seen anything like that. And I did just talk about, I think, in Question of the Week the other day, which the best concerts I went to all year. Man, oh man, that would have been number one if that would have been just a week prior. So Opus still rocking hard. I know a lot of my fan base is huge fans of Opus, huge bands, of course, and a major coup by Powertown to get them as part of the Powertown Christmas party. Pretty awesome if you ask me that. But I thought that was pretty cool. But then it was, the band stopped. They said, hey, we're going to be back for a second set later. And that's when you and me went to the shoe show. So we didn't like Opus that much that we want to stick around for set number 2. We just want to hear that song over and over and over. But Todd and I went to the shoe show instead. And we were walking around, kind of mingling a little bit. And honestly, Todd, you're in the industry. And we both didn't really know anybody there. There was some cagey characters that you can imagine. There was some people in trench coats, dark hats, dark glasses. There was a lot of crazy stuff, dare I say shenanigans going on in there, but Todd and I didn't partake too much of that. But then as we were going over, we said, all right, let's go talk to Magnum. We start walking up to Magnum, and all of a sudden Magnum got the cue to come up on stage. He got the microphone. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. And it was like, oh, we were finally so close. We saw each other, so it's like got a little awkward. Now I'm like, Todd, it's going to be super awkward if we have to talk to Magnum after his little speech and stuff. So I said, let's just get out of here. Let's just leave this party. It's kind of creeping me out. I don't know what's going on. There's some shady characters here. I can feel it. Dare I say the mob might be here. I don't know. The mob might have been there. Gang warfare, you never know. But we got to the back of the kind of place. But I said, hey, wait, Todd. And I grabbed Todd by the shoulder. And we embraced and looked each other deep in the eye for a second. And then we cut that out right there. But then I said, let's listen to see what Magnum has to say. So Magnum got got the mic and thanked everybody for coming here. And he said, it's been a banner year for the Powertown boomerang, relatively worldwide. We got figures on the boat. We got figures coming by plane. It's just like World War III with Powertown, just bombarding America and all the ports with their product. It's going to be a huge year. He's flipping coins like Two-Face up there on the stage. It was a wild, wild time. And then Magnum said, you know, it's been a banner year and all this, and I want to show a special video that celebrates 2025 in Powertown. And then he gave you one of those big, like, Vince McMahon type of, here it is. And I actually recorded the video off my phone once again. Eagle Eye Kyle here, the man of the people, and I recorded it. Here it is. Are you kidding me? Magnum pulled out the video. It was unbelievable. I said, wait a minute, what does this have to do with Powertown? It was basically a highlight video of Magnum's career set to the theme of Magnum PI. I could not believe what I was watching. And dare I say, I saw a guy in the front row that looked just like Higgins from Magnum PI, which was wild. And I worked with a guy that looked like Higgins, Todd McFarlane. Story for another day. But I couldn't believe it. He played the whole Magnum theme song, and it was just clips of Magnum throughout the years. And I was like, when's this going to get to Powertown? And like at the very end, they give the little Powertown mention. But it was almost like a self-serving clip of his career, just like to celebrate in front of everybody. So that was a pretty wild scene, all things together. But I do think that was a true power move that he played the Magnum PI theme song in the background of that. Only thing that would have been better if Magnum would have been dressed up in like a Hawaiian shirt, like Tom Selleck. I have the Magnum PI Hawaiian shirt. I wear it on the channel every once in a while. Shout out to Magnum PI. Shout out to Magnum TA. Maybe, maybe not. But it was a wild Christmas party and got wilder at the club later with Todd, me at the shoe show. Save that for another video. But that was the Powertown Christmas party, which didn't make any sense to me. And I appreciate everybody that stuck with me for the ramblings of this beautiful party that I got to attend. I was happy to be invited, but also left even more confused than ever. And we head into 2026 talking Powertown, and the word of the year is confusion, and probably some other four-letter words, and maybe theft, thieving. Something like that. Who knows? But we'll see where Powertown goes. I don't know how much longer we can do these weekly updates, but we'll try our hardest. Hopefully we get something very soon. But that is the last Powertown update of 2025. But now, as Jerry Reed always says, move on from the Powertown shenanigans to other toy news this week, and some sad news this week, as was it Christmas Eve or Christmas Eve, one of those two, we got an official press release from Playmates Toys, who've done the Ninja Turtle line for 30 plus years, announcing at the end of 2026 they will no longer be doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, in my brain, going back to when I was a little kid, Playmates, Ninja Turtles, they go together. I hear Playmates, Ninja Turtles is the first thing I think of, and it looks like it is no longer going to be a thing. What that means for master license all across the place, we're not exactly sure. Now, our friend Todd McFarlane on the couch, losing DC license at the end of 2026. Dare I say Todd might capture a new license in 2026. There's a lot of people calling for him to get the AEW brand. And Todd, you've told me repeatedly you hate professional wrestling and you're not really interested in that. But I wouldn't be shocked for a statue or a one-off. But I could see him trying to put his name in the hat, or maybe his socks and shoes in the hat, for the Ninja Turtle license. Going to be very interested to see where that ends up going. We get Turtles from everything under the sun, but I guess the master license is ending at the end of 2026, and it's a wild time with toy companies shutting down, toy companies dialing back, licensing being lost all over the place. A year from now, when we're sitting here doing this same video, hopefully, we could see a whole new playing field out there. And it's an interesting time when licenses are gained and lost, because people jump out, people stop collecting, people say, I'm done for now. Going to be very interested to see where everything goes and when the dust settles, I guess, roughly a year from now. Much more on that in the future, but it really is the end of the line. It feels weird to not hear Playmates and Ninja Turtles together. But here we are. I still need to find like that Chrome Dome and that Slithering, what's the guy's name? Those two new Playmates ones. I think I've probably seen them. I just forget to look for them, but I still need to track those down. So I got to add that to my list, my to-do list. How about that? Keep on going into another Ninja Turtle story. This is kind of interesting here. Walmart gets a heck of a hard time about their pre-orders, not shipping, not getting canceled. And I say it all the time. The majority of mine do come. They do eventually ship out. I usually cancel them myself because I find them in the store long before I get my order from Walmart. Now, a lot of people say, well, I pre-ordered at Walmart, I should get them first. No, a pre-order doesn't mean you get them first. A pre-order means you're supposed to get the product. Doesn't always happen from Walmart and occasionally Target as well. But a couple of weeks ago, I ordered the new Ninja Turtle 2012 edition NECA figures. Now, I already had Mikey, but I needed the other three brothers. They had them up on the website. I said, all right, I'll order them. Ordered them. Said it was coming in a week. Got the delay message. And then about 3 or 4 days after the delay, I got the Walmart cancellation. We've refunded your PayPal. Sorry, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, great. Well, canceled, whatever. I got my money back. I guess I'll be on the lookout. Well, what happens Christmas Eve morning? I get a knock at the door, and it was the FedEx guy. Shocked to see FedEx here on Christmas Eve because I didn't have anything ordered. I didn't know anything. I didn't have anything I was on the lookout for Christmas Eve. But I got 2 big boxes, and they both said NECA on them. I'm like, what the heck is this? What did I order from NECA? I'm racking my brain like a young Ringo Starr in the 80s. Did anybody get that reference? You're a real one if you got that reference. But I was racking my brain, so I get the old box cutter out. I open it up, and what do I see in the box here? The 3 turtles that I were canceled the other day, plus I was refunded for. So basically, Walmart and NECA, they were shipped from NECA. I got the figures. I got refunded. They sent me free figures. Talk about a mess up over there in Walmart. Unbelievable on their aspect there. I'm like, what the heck is this? This is so weird. I said, well, I guess you win one every once in a while here. I said, you know what? I've had enough issues with NECA and Walmart as of late. I'm going to chalk this up to a victory. But then what do? I said, wait, what's in this other box from NECA? So I opened that one up. And what is in there? Something I never ordered. However, it is the same 3 brothers I got with the cartoon ones. But this time I got those 3 brothers in those re-release Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie packs. So I got the 3 brothers, the same ones. So somehow they confused my order. They gave me the ones for free. And then they gave me those same brothers in the movie pack for free as well. I didn't get charged. I went back to Walmart. I never even ordered those ones. Just a wild, wild mishap in shipping. And I guess a little Christmas W for me. For a guy that doesn't get a lot of presents on Christmas, that was a pretty big victory here. So just absolutely wild. So Walmart, what are we doing? I guess we'll never know, really, at the end of the day. So that was a crazy one. Moving on to just a couple other notes this week. It's been long with that long, drawn-out Powertown story. Todd, you guys saw that. I should have posted the video. I guess I could still talk Power. We could still talk Powertown. There was a crazy time at the end. As we're leaving there, guess who was there? David Hasselhoff. Yes, the Hoff was there, and he was off to the side with a bunch of the other partygoers, and he was putting on a show on that dance floor. Power moves just left and right. I couldn't keep track of them all. Roll the video. I thought that was pretty wild to see old Hasselhoff on the dance floor. And I might as well keep on beating the horse here. Todd, we left and you forgot your coat. So I said, okay, Todd, you go get your coat. I'll pull the car up front. I said, we got to go to the shoe show. We got to get over there quick. Some prime talents out there. And Todd, you filmed this and you sent this video to me to add it into it. But after Opus did their amazing set, I figured for sure that would be the closer. But nuh-uh. Todd walked in there. He filmed a little bit of it. It was one of the old favorites on this channel. Rockapella was performing.
Well, she sneaks around the world from Vegas to Carolina. She's a thinking finger filter from Berlin down to Believe. She'll take you for a ride on the boat to China. Tell me where in the world is Carmen San
That was extremely wild, and I'm really bummed I missed that. Of course, Todd, you said you talked to somebody there and they played the theme song to Carmen Sandiego 4 times in a row. It's just like an old country concert back in the 50s and 60s, like Johnny Cash playing Ring of Fire 4 times in a row. That's what Rockapella was doing at that. So a wild, wild time out there at the old Powertown party. Have we beat a dead horse enough? Have we beat it enough in this episode? Can you tell I'm trying to fill out this episode a little bit? Maybe, maybe not. But let's continue on here. Let's go to Boss Fight. We'll talk Fraggle Rock. That's how you know we're filling out the toy news this week. We got Fraggle Rock. We got Moki and Gobo. They're coming back at us. New and improved. Shame on you, Boss Fight. I don't want another Moki and Gobo in my collection. But I guess if you want the definitive versions, I guess you're going to have to pick up these new ones coming in 2026. Moving over to NECA. NECA toys this week. Pretty quiet, all things considered. We did do a top 5 NECA countdown on the channel this week. Check that one out. Pretty slow year for NECA. And you know, Super 7, another company, a very slow year. Couldn't even do a top 5 Ultimates this year. Would have been just Thundercats figures, basically. But a lot of top 5, top 10s to come on the channel. But we did see NECA, their Conjuring Demon. Now, shame on me, I have never seen a Conjuring movie. You know me, I like the late 70s and 80s horror movies. The trashier the movie, the better. I like the really stuff that most people hate. I like the exploitation films. That's what Todd and I like. So I don't really watch a lot of modern day stuff. Too much CGI, too much money involved. I like the grimy stuff is what I like. But I feel like maybe over this next week or two, my wife's going to be gone. It's just going to be me and Todd on the couch, and that could be exciting in its own part. But we're going to be out there doing stuff. Maybe we'll watch some of these Conjuring movies. I think I saw a list where you like watch The Nun first, then like Annabelle or something. There was like an order to watch them in. I don't know. Maybe I dive into this, but a demon is a demon. This looks pretty cool. I feel like if I'm going to buy this, I should watch the movies first. So that's going to be my rule. If I buy this, I better watch the movies first, and I better enjoy the movies. If not, I guess I could make this the demon from Tenacious D, maybe. I don't know, the devil. Who knows? Who knows? But that is up for pre-order right now if that is your thing. And then we got some Masters of the Universe this week here. Masters of 2000X collection. We saw the next series coming out. Skeletor, you knew that was going to come. Prince Adam, you got to have Prince Adam. And of course, you got to have Zodak. Of course, why wouldn't you have Zodak? Is what it is. And it's an interesting Zodak, a little change from the original one, but that is the next series of the 2000 series. A lot of issues with this 2000 brand, and I talked about it in a recent review. I actually got the Thundercats figures to unbox here very soon as well, so stay tuned to that. But I don't know how that 2000X series is going to go. It's quality control issues is what we've been seeing, so stay tuned for more on that, I will say. And then it's coming up, Manny Faces at the end of the year. We did see the Mark Taylor Manny Faces original concept coming to Target in 2026. This looks like an ultimate clearance one, but man, I like the looks of it. Looks like he's straight out of ancient Egypt is what it looks like to me. Looks like Merciful Fate's going to sing some songs about him or something. But definitely a cool looking figure. One that if you're smart, you'll play the long game on. I'm not smart. I'm going to get this right away. Is what it is. And then we saw Manny Faces, the Mondo figure shipping out early. I believe that was supposed to come March and April, and I got a shipping notice earlier this week, so probably in the next week or two, I'll have in my hand. So very strange. You don't hear that a lot. Usually it's delays, Powertown, delays. Powertown. But they're shipping it early, so that is pretty darn cool if you ask me. I'm here for that. And then last but certainly least because it's last, it is Todd McFarlane. We got the McFarlane recap this week. Nothing, just our Powertown party. That was it. I didn't see anything from McFarlane this week. I do got to give him his flowers once again for those big 3 boxes of stuff he sent my way. You're going to be eligible. Yes, you, and you, sitting on the couch. I'm going to be giving them away, so make sure you follow me on social media. All my social medias, all the YouTubes, all that kind of fun stuff if you want a chance to win these free of charge. And Todd, I'm going to pay shipping for these. You gave me the figures. I'm going to ship them. So it's a joint effort. It's a team effort, just like Powertown. And that is it. That's the long-winded toy news, the ramblings of a madman. Hopefully you enjoyed the recap of the big Powertown party with me and Todd. A lot going on this week in the toy news for a Christmas week toy news. Have to imagine next week's be pretty slow as well, but we'll be here to cover it all. Stay tuned tomorrow for weekly purchases. Things go off the rails big time in the Q&A segment with my wife. We got a lot to talk about in that one. You'll find out all the gory details in that Q&A segment. Don't forget my podcast. You better check out this week. See if you won the golf cart if you didn't enter. We got all kinds of stuff going on the Kyle Peterson Show. More giveaways to come over there as we give out all this stuff. So cheap plug to the podcast. Wherever podcasts found, YouTube channel, of course, has the video. And then Patreon YouTube channel members, you get everything early. You guys know that by now, especially this time of year. A lot of stuff going on. And I did post it, Todd. I did post that video. I was threatening it. The walk behind the scenes of my collection right now. How big of a mess it is. If you feel like your collection is a huge mess, you can watch this video and you can feel a lot better about yourself. Trust me that. If you need a pick-me-up for the year end, you can do that. But I'm only putting it on YouTube channel memberships and Patreon. I don't want the world to see this. It's embarrassing, but I'll get it cleaned up by February is the plan. So more to come on that. But of course, don't forget to follow on social media, SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com, which is also the name of the podcast, YouTube channel memberships, Patreon. Subscribe to the channels, thumbs up the video, all that kind of fun stuff. And in the comments below, tell me what toy news excited you this week. And did you get an invite to the Powertown party? Let me know in the comments as well. Maybe I missed something. Maybe you guys can add to the story. Who knows? Choose your own adventure, as one may say. So for another holiday week toy news, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play? Hey!